Hello and welcome to the AAA podcast. This podcast is focused on gaming news and the connection students at DGS have to their favorite video games. I am your host, Christopher Demos. Today, we will be interviewing two fans of the Pokemon franchise on the recently released Pokemon Champions, as well as their personal history with the 30-year-old monster catching series. Please state your guys' names for the podcast.
Hi, I am Jules.
My name is Alfred.
So nice, it took me a bit to get you guys. But thank you for being open to be interviewed for the podcast.
Yes, of course.
About Pokemon. I'm excited to ask you guys some questions and see what you guys bring up. First question. How have you interacted with the different aspects of the Pokemon franchise in the past? What's your connection to it?
I've always it's hard to say. I've been into Pokemon for a very long time. Initially, it was just the story mode that had always interested me. After I beat Sword and Shield and nothing to do in the late game, so I started trying out competitive a little bit. I got a little bit more into that. However, my knowledge never grew further past that. The Sword and Shield being that, it did make me want to go back and play all the other ones. So I do my favorite part about the Pokemon games is absolutely the story mode. That's fun. Exploring the world. That's the biggest part of those games I've interacted with.
My interaction with Pokemon is more about the fan art and the creative ways to use specific Pokemon, like Wolf Glick or some Wolf Glick. I watch Wolf Glick a lot, so
How he's been doing videos covering the champions with
make a Pokemon here.
Pokemon different teams. Awesome. Goes into the second part. How much do you know about competitive Pokemon? Have you tried to learn it in the past, or does anything about it interest you?
I used to play a lot of Pokemon Showdown. It's been so long. I remember when I was graduating 8th grade. That's when I really got into it, and that's when I realized I was not even close to being everyone there. Everyone I faced was on an entirely another level. So I never got too into it.
Could you explain to the audience what Pokemon Showdown is?
Pokemon Showdown is basically an online version of Pokemon competitive. It's very, very simple, but you can build teams and whatnot with different Pokemon, and it's the same. And just you can simulate Pokemon battles online.
I'm more interested in the team building aspect to it, but more as a storytelling device. You know how certain teams in the story mode of Pokemon have Pokemon with specific moves and such. What was the leader's name in Black and White?
Which leader?
The evil one.
Evil gym leader?
No, not the gym leader.
Ghetsis?
Yeah, Gexus with his Hydreigon with frustration. That's a storytelling device.
I didn't know he had that, but that's hilarious now that I think about it.
Frustration is a move that when your Pokemon has a lower amount of friendship, it does more damage.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of what Return was, which was higher friendship, higher damage.
Yeah.
So the Hydreigon hates him.
Yeah. But I also like team building as a whole because it's just interesting to create a team that your preferences.
I remember seeing something where somebody made a team where they used Red's team from Gen 2, which was the Pikachu and all three of the Kanto starters.
Right now, I'm trying to think of a Pokemon team with a Trick Room team with Mega Chestnut and Gardevoir.
That's one thing I do love about Pokemon is that it's not too hard of a game where you can realistically beat the game with anything. It doesn't matter that much. I'm really into difficult action RPGs like Dark Souls and whatnot. In those games, you got to know how to build how to make a build. In Pokemon, you can literally just use whatever and you'll be fine. As long as you level up your Pokemon, you can use anything.
Okay, that goes into my next question. Do you both have any specific memories of the Pokemon series that stick out to you?
Well, I have a lot. It'd be hard. Alfred, do you have any that you could state at all?
The Pokemon anime.
What about the anime?
It's the new what's it called? I guess just new stuff old with Ash and new with with the new protagonist.
The anime would probably be a really big one for me as well. It was. I mean, I even watched the Pokemon anime longer than I can even remember at this point. It's been so long. I don't. I It was probably the first anime I ever watched. I vividly remember watching it an incredible amount with my brother, and that's something I really want to watch again because like I was rewatching it not too long ago, and it still really holds up. Like it's still genuinely entertaining. It's not at all like obviously target demographic was kids, but like the jokes are still funny. It's still fun to watch. So I'm glad looking back at that it wasn't just nostalgia and it was really good.
I think I started with the anime Black and White.
I also started with the black and white anime.
The Kanto League was obviously the first one, or it's called Indigo League, but Indigo League was the first one I ever watched. I started with the first episode and I watched the entire thing.
I remember I watched a lot of Pokemon. I watched a lot of the X and Y anime when it was airing. I watched it on Cartoon Network. I kind of just like looking back. I remember I rewatched one of the first episodes in the original sub. That being the original Japanese recording. And just kind of seeing it is just like it was really good. The animation was really good, and it got me really intrigued. It's like it's always had like a sense of quality to it. Um, yeah. It goes on to my kind of fourth question. Kind of we went back to the past, and now we're going more so to the future. With the reveal of Pokemon Wiz and Waves during the 30th anniversary presentation this year, hopes have been high for the future of the franchise. In what ways have you kind of seen Pokemon change over its 30 years of existing?
I'm very so I don't see myself playing Wind and Waves for a simple reason. It's that I feel like Pokemon games just need to go back to being like 2D because the quality dropped. Like I think X and Y were at its peak of 3D Pokemon. That was the peak of 3D Pokemon.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the newer games, especially Sword and Shield, and I didn't even play Legends ZA, but I've heard how bad that one was. The quality has dropped off a lot, and that's why like I want to be excited for the new game. But man, it's just Game Freak has been on a decline. They keep giving us more games. Just like give us, they just haven't done it well recently, which is something I've been so disappointed by.
I've I've played Legends EA. I like it, but I've seen how polarizing opinions are. It's like either people like it or either people don't. It's like there's no middle ground.
Wasn't it similar to Legends Arceus?
Yeah, it was.
I think
I liked Legends Arceus a lot.
I think the Legend series, the Legend games are like more of experiments on the main core ideas.
The biggest thing I've seen though is just one of the biggest things, the two largest things in the Pokemon and newer Pokemon games that I feel like have dropped off is, while I understand it's like kind of a kid's game, the stories have just been just nothing. Like I know I'm not you don't expect a grand story out of a Pokemon game, but even with like Pokemon like I don't know, like Ruby and Sapphire, like they were competent. They weren't groundbreaking. They weren't like a Tolkien story, but they made sense and you could follow along with them. And a lot of the newer ones just feel like what am I? They just like feel like completely random and they're just like a headache to try and figure out like what am I even looking at here? This makes no sense. And the other big thing is the graphics, which is why I think 2D Pokemon might be something to go back to, is because the graphics I've seen like Legends ZA, how it's just like Windows sales is just a PNG slapped on a wall. Like I like the visual appeal of Pokemon a lot. And I feel like it is the visual appeal that has gone so downhill, which is why I have lost a lot of interest. The Sword and Shield Wild areas, when you compare them to Breath of the Wild, which is a game that came out before Sword and Shield, and the Switch could absolutely handle, it just looks terrible. It just looks like a mess.
What about what do you believe, Alfred? What are your opinions?
I'm just honestly the day that Pokemon Falls is the day that the soundtrack is bad.
The soundtracks have been consistently good. I think that's.
They've hired Toby Fox. He did the Undertale guy, the person who made Undertale and Deltarune for the audience. His stuff for Pokemon has been consistently good, and even amidst like polarizing opinions about the quality, how you're not interested in versus people who are interested. I think people can agree, like music.
Musically wise, I think it's been very consistent.
Mhm.
There were still, even when I was playing through, what is it, Scarlet and Violet, there were definitely tracks where I was like, all right, they have not skimped down on the soundtrack. Soundtracks are still just as good as they've ever been. It's just I wish they put more effort into not even graphics, art direction.
Mm-hmm.
The way of portraying, like I went back to with like Breath of the Wild, the Breath of the Wild open area and Sword and Shield open area. It's not even like the Sword and Shield couldn't handle the graphics. Is that there was no sense of direction, or felt like there was no art direction with those wild areas. When I feel like since they were such a large part of Sword and Shield, they could have made them so much more intriguing. They could have made them feel like the wild, but they didn't.
I definitely think I agree with the fact that like the artistic direction probably needs to be pushed a lot.
Yeah,
What are your opinions on that, Alfred?
It's not like much about like 2D or 3D. I just think it's like just needs like what do you say? It just needs to be more like. So you say you like the 2D games more, but like
I think the reason I like the 2D games more graphically is because they had better art direction. That's the main thing. They had way better art direction. Obviously, the graphics aren't as good, but like it looks nicer because you don't need good graphics to have good art. You just need good art direction. Even with terrible graphics, great art direction will do it.
but what if like the 3D models had good art direction? What would you do then?
I would be very happy with it. I've seen Game Freak seem to be a lot better with 2D stuff when it comes to that. And I'm not sure if they're just like being lazy, but if they can do some good art direction with 3D, I'll be happy.
From what I've seen, I feel like a lot of it is time constraints on their end, which that does kind of suck. For reference, a lot of the more like Pokemon games for the longest time have been made in like 2 to 3 year intervals.
Yeah, it's about 3 years.
Yeah. So it definitely like the quality of the things that they released is definitely kind of connected to that time aspect. That kind of goes into my next question. Since we're kind of maybe at the midway point of the time we have, just kind of say like a quick thing. Kind of like how the games kind of been looking. You brought up like quality of the games, like visual quality and that type of stuff. Kind of how like during like gameplay experience did that like mess with anything during the gameplay experience?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I feel like it's the biggest thing, especially when these were games like Sword and Shield. The wild areas were the biggest part. The second I get to that wild area, it just looks so dry and lifeless. Like when a large portion of the game is something like a wild area, you need that to be visually appealing. It needs to be immersive. Like I said before, graphics and art direction are two totally different things. Even games with terrible graphics can have amazing art direction. Like very early Pokemon games, like they still look great. Like even when we go back to like the GBA ones, like Pokemon Coliseum, the graphics are obviously not the best, but I think the art direction in those games is great. And I feel like the art direction has gone downhill, the graphics have gone up, and I think that we need to put a middle ground there.
Mm-hmm.
The graphics, I don't need. It's okay if I see a few polygons. Just give me to make the places look more interesting.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Alfred?
He said what I wanted to say.
Okay, that's fair. I definitely when Pokemon Champions released, it definitely was well, not less art direction, but more so was like very buggy on release. There's a lot of like glitches during combat or like during like Pokemon battles and stuff, and then that's been patched out. The team that's been working on Pokemon Champions patched that out. But I definitely does think that's like kind of like a staple like curse of the franchise or something with like recent installments.
Even back to Pokemon Red and Blue, like it's always these games have always been buggy. I don't know what it is. If like Game Freak just has really bad time finding bugs, but even with like obviously Scarlet and Violet were one of the buggiest ones. Yeah, personally, I didn't come across too many, so most of them weren't like gameplay affecting. I haven't played Pokemon Champions personally myself, but I definitely believe it considering Game Freak's track record.
Mm-hmm.
It's all I think it's like I think the battle style makes it the most complicated because of the turn-based way. It makes it all complicated.
Complicated to find those bugs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like you need to do specific moves on specific things to figure it out.
Mhm. I remember there being a glitch where Mega Evolution usually like when a Pokemon Mega evolves during a battle, it's usually like tied to when they're going to attack, like tied to like their speed. But during but when initially before they patched it out, it was just kind of random in turn order. So you didn't know when a Pokemon would attack if it Mega evolves. It's like, oh, it Mega evolves and then it doesn't attack immediately after. It kind of got confusing. Um, Something I just remember I wanted to bring up. Um, you know, do two more questions. Uh, I just as we're talking about the bugs of the Pokemon franchise, or like the glitches, or like the downsides to it, it still has existed for like 30 years. Um, how have you how have you kind of seen it like maybe like set itself apart from like different other monster collecting games that's like popped up after or like the Pokemon Digimon I believe. Why has like why do you think people still stick with Pokemon?
I think Game Freak, for as many as faults as they have, they've had a way, and especially Nintendo. Obviously, I don't know what company Digimon is behind.
It's Bandai.
Bandai Namco. Nintendo has the reach to push Pokemon, and they've got like obviously Pokemon Red and Blue are just so iconic. I think it's simply that Pokemon is just so iconic that even like I could go to like any teacher and like show them a picture of Pikachu, and they know who Pikachu is. I couldn't name a single Digimon. It's just that Nintendo has had the reach to push it, and so many early Pokemon games were just so good that it is iconic at this point.
I think Digimon was more akin to the Toma.
Tamagotchi.
Yeah, more akin to the Tomodachi. It's more Digimon was more about the physical games. The Pokemon was more about the digital games.
Mm-hmm. That kind of allowed them to take that stroke. Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm. Last question. With Pokemon Champions, with alluding to the return of more past battle gimmicks, with the Omni Ring, it being housing like Mega Evolution, Z moves, Dynamax, Terrestrialization. How do you kind of expect like the Pokemon community to react to their return? And do you have a favorite past battle gimmick? I just want to end with something fun.
I think Mega Evolution is just so classic. Like, I think, I think Mega Evolution is the coolest for a pretty simple reason. Dynamaxing is cool, but most Pokemon don't even have like a special Dynamax form. Mega Evolution is like specific to you. If Pokemon has a Mega Evolution, that is a special form. Not every if every Pokemon got a Mega Evolution and only some of them were cool, I don't think it would be nearly as interesting. Obviously, with terrestrialization and like Dynamaxing, it doesn't have that same thing. You don't feel the same way about a Gigantamax Pokemon or whatever, or the special Dynamax ones, as a Mega Evolution, because all Mega Evolutions are inherently unique.
Uh, I just got a team idea. So like Gigantamax Venusaur, Urshifu, Incineroar, uh, Eternal Floette, uh, Duraludon, and then like Goldango.
You really put Eternal Flower Floette there. That Eternal Flower Floette is like people are considering being the most powerful Mega Evolution ever, like Mega Eternal Flower Floette. Um, I at least in the format the Champions is currently in. But mixing those gimmicks is probably gonna be really fun.
I'm interested to see that because I honestly never expected them to mix those gimmicks all together. I feel like that'd be so hard. It seems like it would add so that I feel like that would make things so absurdly complicated, but in a way that does actually interest me.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon had both Z moves and Megas.
Mm-hmm. And I know like during competitive play, then they ran with both and for use. Both were kind of different though. Mega Evolution was like a buff to Pokemon, while Z moves was just like a really big move. That did a lot of damage.
Z moves are more attack. Dynamax thing is more defensive. Terrestrialization is a bit of both, and Mega Evolution is the specialty.
It's gonna be really interesting to see how like all interact as well as like specific like team builds as well. Like that's interesting.
Unless they restrict you to one thing per 14.
It depends on all like the restriction. I hope if anything, like I think two makes sense. Like if they do restrictions, but
Yeah.
uh,
I think the two that people were going to focus on though is terrestrialization and mega evolution. Maybe some Dynamaxing in there for just defensive reasons, but other than that, I think Z moves would be get left behind.
I
Actually, I have a question. So, within the past like few games, they've always introduced a new gimmick. With Sun, what is it, Wind and Waves coming out? They're gonna have to introduce a new gimmick.
they are.
Do you have any ideas or theories on what that could possibly be?
I can. What we know is that gimmicks in the Pokemon franchise are always alluded to in the Japanese logos. With Winds and Waves, what we see is kind of like a weird Omega symbol in the logo of both games. There have been like leaks dictating what these gimmicks are going to be, but people don't know. They're I've seen like stuff online where it's like a reincarnation thing where like when a Pokemon faints it comes back stronger. That'd be really cool.
That would mix up competitive a whole lot. But I think that'd be fun because I think like we've had so many things that are just they know they struck it out with Mega Evolution. So let's do a different different kind of Mega Evolution rather than let's do something completely different. So that would be cool, I think.
How about you, Alfred? Do you have anything you think that would be cool they could do?
So I think no. I don't think so. It's too much to think about. Like with Mega Evolution, it's a change to the stats and to the abilities maybe. With terrestrialization, it's a change about the typing mainly. With Z moves, it's a change to the moves themselves, and Dynamaxing is more of a change of everything actually, except for abilities.
Mhm.
So moves and stats, I guess HP is doubled.
Is it possible it could be some sort of like you have two Pokemon that have a unique interaction with each other with some sort of move like that?
Maybe. Where mainly it's just mainly theories.
But if it's like the Pokemon have to have like a team move together, that would mean every battle would be doubles.
That would mean that. I wouldn't mind an entirely double battle Pokemon game. I'm not sure if they're gonna take that leap to go all double battles for me.
They've done that in the past with Pokemon Coliseum and then XD Yellow Darkness.
You're right, they might bring it back.
Maybe.
But those are spin-offs.
Those are spin-off games. So it depends on what Game Freak wants to do. They're definitely experimenting with the battle system with Legends EA and like mainline titles. And with the creation of Champions, people are thinking like they might just have the mainline game be real-time combat, or it could something where it's all doubles, but it depends. It's up in the air, really, because we don't know that much about Winds and Waves other than from that one real trailer, and we're being handed other games like Champions and spin-off content for the 30th anniversary, so we don't know.
I think it will be interesting to see what it actually ends up being. When does Wind and Waves come out again?
Sometime next year.
This is the only thing. I don't want to buy a Switch 2, but if it looks interesting, I might have to.
Thank you for the interview, guys.
Of course.
Anything else you kind of want to mention before I end it?
Not exactly.
So, well, this was fun. Yeah. Thank you for listening. Again, I am your host, Christopher Demos from the Bluebird News Network, and I hope you tune in for the next episode of the AAA podcast.